And the children were really involved in the filming as well. So sometimes we would come and come to me and say, "Well, you should come over and film this because it might be interesting for the film." So I was like, life and the cinema were quite mixing in.
Well, because you give them agency, right?
What? So it was like we were almost leaving the situation they were, going through, and also we were leaving the time that we were making a film together, and they were quite, feeling this way.
Yeah.
So they were quite open to, every possibility that might happen, and let me enter into so it was easy. Yeah.
So has it been on the festival circuit with the film and bringing them with you, is that not entry into that new world, has that been a curious experience for all of you?
Yeah, for all of us, it was curious and intense. The film premiered at Casandra in the acting section, so it was the first time we much known to others, and then so they thought very much, because you never know when you make a film if this film is going to be loved in some way or made in, so you don't know that. And the kids were really worried about the fact that because there was so much involved in this, it was their whole life.
Yeah.
And then so it was like kind of relief that actually the audience get so emotionally respond, so intense response to the film. So they were like, relieved with that, and so they enjoyed it very much in the campus. So nice running around like that and showed the audience. It was quite nice.
I imagine we have some questions for the film, so if you want to shout them out and can't hear your words.
How are the kids now? Well, they're doing well. So during the film, we all live together now, even after the shooting of the film. So Sparticus goes to high school, and Casandra goes to middle school. Yeah. And they're doing pretty well. The mother stayed with us for a while, but now she's on the health services because she has, she like has an hallucinating at night sometimes. So she should probably come back to us. And the father went to England, the UK, and he found a job there, and is probably getting a flat like with, in the 2 next weeks or something. So he's doing much more improvement. It was in 2010, I think. There's a lot of evictions in France, and so the family that I followed, and which I've become closer to, actually ended up in the circus. Close to the TikTok that you sent the film, because Camille had this idea to build a big top in Westland area where she felt at that time that maybe a presence might preserve the community from evictions. And so she proposed, she asked the families to come over and build their shacks around the Chateau. So that's where we met. And during a cabaret night, because she was like, doing like performing arts or cabarets. And so I think Casandra come from another place. They were evicted during winter. So they came and asked for a home or somewhere to stay and sleep. And so this way and actually Sparticus came to me that night during the cabaret and said like, "Okay, come on, film me, let's record it." And it's quite usual that you have a camera and a kid come to you and say, "Come on, film me." So I was like, okay, I'll be bored, okay, I'm going to film. And then he started to rap, started his hip-hop song about his life. It was like, I'm Sparticus, we just 100 this years old, and I was like, wow, it was like, I was really shocked by it was so impressive. And so I showed the shot to the producer, Sandra, and we were talking about the project together, but we didn't know exactly what at that time. And I showed him just the shot of Sparticus singing the rap, and he said like, okay, I think we got it. And then 3 weeks later we start shooting the film. So it was pretty much, on the Sparticus hour.
How did the story develop in terms of, and when did you say, okay, I'm going to finish it here?
When I heard about Sparticus and Casandra's stories, when they told me those stories, I thought about, I made a connection with Franz-Alain Coratel tale. And so my idea was to make like a contemporary or a documentary tale, like fairy tale, but in a documentary way. So I have this kind of structure, like, all tales are made there, like you have the first circle, maybe the family circle, and the children have to learn from this first circle, not only to present themselves, but also to help the family. So the fairy tale is where the children, they own their own life, they have their own destiny in their hands, so it's pretty much the form that I wanted to follow anyway. And so I have this structure, like I knew, formally I wanted to start by close up, and then step by step to get more filled, and so I have this idea, and when did I stop? It was actually because I was getting so involved, in the life, and my life was, it was kind of, it was really strange at the end to film the situation where I should be in, and so it happened a day when we were getting our dinner, and there were like 4 dishes on the table, and they start joking. They start to say, "Oh yeah, we had a fourth dish for our ghost, for our spirit in the house. Never gonna see, because it's still filming. It's still filming." I was saying that. I was just, "Oh yeah, right." And so I just put the camera on the side, and so the film was over. That was it.
The formal side of it, I love the film, and one of the things I loved about it was the way that the form so elegantly and surprisingly grew out of the content. I loved a lot of the grammar choices, a lot of wonderful surprises on the visual level. So I'm just interested in some of your process, and as you went along, were you developing the grammar? Did you go in with a set of rules, as it were, or a formal approach, and then it evolved? Could you talk to that?
Yeah. I felt myself as a dancer and as a painter doing the filming in a way. So I was thinking about what do I want to have as colors, sets, or as like material. When you work with HD, now probably the way to think of it is to get more resolution and more resolution. So you lose, it's gonna be very clean, and it's something I don't want to have. I want to think about HD or DV or whatever digital camera as a material, as something you can, similar to painting. And so I was working on that, and then every sequence I would ask myself which camera would be the best for this sequence, and how I'm gonna shoot this is gonna be only close up from which point of view. So I was always thinking, because all the film is following the children's perception and point of view only. So it was, and I was working on Camille as a not background character, but like I like to put her like a black hole. It's something here, and it has all the narratives. How do you say that? It's something which attracts you because there is so many things missing in the Camille's character, because the kids keep wondering themselves about what she's doing to them, what is her point, what is her aim, what she is for. I mean, do she love us, or what? So I was working. So that was my, I would say, that narrative engine in some way, and it was the main thing. And then I knew that I had to change to switch to another frame. So from the close up on the beginning, and then the end to be like wild range of frame. So this is the very probably the most difficult point I had to, because I had to choose to switch at some point. So and I decided that it might be during nature scenes, like involved in the tell the children have to go, have to challenge themselves. So they go into the nature, and there they met the fairy or the witch, and yeah, they can improve or they can go to something else. So this is basically what I had. Sorry, that was
No.
but relationships are quite business relationship. They don't have so many connections. I mean, they don't really like they will not live together in the same slums or in the same camps or whatever we call this. And but probably what I can feel about this is like they organize themselves as a community to be stronger and to face difficulties that individuals may not face. So they quite organizing themselves in a similar way, just to face the police or poverty or whatever. But they don't have so many connections. Sometimes they have like car business, like going like, okay, I'll sell you a car, I repair your car, you fix my car, but it doesn't go much further.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how you reshape the whole narrative using the children's narration?
Right, the voiceover.
Yeah.
So the idea was to go a bit. Well, I work with different layers, I would say, and so if I was wondering, it happened during the shooting actually that I thought we should have their voices because when I was, when you start the project, then you have the first layer and the second one, and so during the shooting, I said, okay, if you want to make this film in the children point of view, then you should probably go deeper than that. And so I started asking them to tell me their dreams, to tell me what going through in their heads, during that moment or what. So I asked them to write a lot about what they were actually experiencing. And at the same time, they were doing like a workshop. You can see a sequence, a scene in the film with Casandra singing with guitar in the background. So that comes from this workshop they were doing at that time. And so they wrote a lot about their own story and their life, and I picked so many things in those texts. And then after, the idea was doing the editing process. As soon as I edited a sequence, I would show them the sequence and ask them to write about it, or to tell me what they can, remember about what was feeling at that time. And so it was pretty much the process. And in a way, I wanted to document their subconscious, something that you don't have when you just shoot what you have in front of the camera. Like, in my point of view, in this film, I discovered that, and I'm sorry to say, I don't know, probably it will hurt some people here, but I discovered that there is like no documentary, that we're living through fiction most of our time, and that this fiction is always trying to collect fragments from our life, our memories, and to reborn a new fiction of what you have been through or what you're going next. So it's like saying you're not in the present. It's like saying you live in the past, you live in the future, you live in a new projection of what you have done and what you'll be. So this discovery was quite disturbing to me because I felt like very close to documentarist filmmaking. But I found out in filming, that I was quite doing pretty much a fiction, and even during the editing process. But it is not. I don't think it's a contradiction, with the aim of the documentarist or what should be a documentary. I think our aim is to get something truly, to get the truth from a situation, and I felt like recollecting those fragments that I had been shooting for a while was the best way to get the truth out of it was to edit in this way and to add those voices, and so it was very much. I was surprised on this discussion because you'll find out that even homeless people get cell phones. Everyone gets cell phones. So I was surprised at this question. The first one was Camille. No, she's not. She's French. I mean, she could be a gypsy and French as well. there is no contradiction. But she's completely French, and she actually learned Romanian language, which is different than Gypsy language, from running around the kids and giving them workshops, teaching them circles or whatever. But she learned pretty fast. Well, you might not think that begging is a job, but I think like begging is a job. To go in the streets and beg for money. It's quite it's probably the oldest job. You say like another job is the oldest one, but I would say that this is the oldest one. And so having the dogs is just a way to get more money from others because it's sad to say that they may either give money to feed the dog than to feed the human who is begging for his food. So it's just a way to it's a good understanding of people behavior in a way.
I actually really enjoyed what you said about how all of what we see is a fragment of our own imagination to the reality happening at the moment. How did the children react by seeing your view and how you captured their reality, so to speak?
Sometimes they're like having memories of what they lived and they think about this movie, where and I say, come on guys, this is the fiction. It's not the fiction, but this is what I edited. It's not exactly what happened. And I say, yeah, really, we should, yeah. So it's like